Good afternoon. Come on in, come on in. Let us know who's here. We're here as a family today. So we know more family is joining us. So let us know who's here and where you're watching from. Good to have you all with us today. I've got wonderful people beside me today. Heather, how you doing?
Hey Heather.
Hey, hey. I'm so excited that today
Thank you.
we are joined. Thank you, Heather. We're joined by uh, the wonderful, amazing, intelligent, smart, sharp, personality full,
Creative.
creative. Yeah, throw yours in. Throw yours in. Talented.
Witty.
Oh, very witty.
Very
Very
witty.
witty. Caden
Jones.
Jones. Hey, Caden, how you
Hi. Hi.
doing? Caden wanted to make sure to be with us. She's been enjoying the weekly wisdom, and I think she has some things that she'll be able to share with us for the first portion of our talk today. And so we're excited about that. And she's excited about that. So very good to see you, Heather.
Yeah.
Hey, as you all are joining in, share. Let us know who's here. I see some more people are joining us. Let us know who's here with us,
Mm-hmm.
and we're so happy that you all are
You can
with
say
us
hi.
today. Yep. It's probably been a minute, Heather, since you've seen Caden, so we're glad for that opportunity.
Hey
Teresa,
Teresa.
Hi, Auntie.
hi, Auntie. Hey there, Teresa. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. We are excited to share a few things with you all today. And so, share this. Share this so that others in your network can partake in it, especially today. We're going to be focused on the next generation. We're going to be focused on what we can do in our current generations to guide and to positively impact and influence the generations that are coming along. She said, "Yeah, it's been. She's all big. She is all big now. She's a
Yep.
great, great, great blessing to us." Let me say this, and I wasn't planning on this. Caden is like Camille and I often say is like the most amazing blessing that God has given us in our
Yeah.
marriage and in our union, and so we are very excited. Um, Listen, she can jump right in here and go with the best of them because she
Mm-hmm.
has great thoughts, great insight,
She has
an
her own
amazing,
mind. Yeah.
yeah, amazing communicator. And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later too. And so, yeah, very excited. Absolutely, yeah. We're gonna talk about all that generational stuff and how we're. But yeah, share it. That's what I was saying. Pass this on, especially to people who have interactions and impact with the generation that is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be useful for all of us as we think about communication and think about some things about how we are each leaders in some way, shape, and form. And so
Right.
we all have some in our sphere of
Influence.
influence. We have some people who we can impact, and it's very important how we do the things we do
Mm-hmm.
so that we can positively, because we're going to impact one way or another. We'll either positively impact or we'll negatively impact those who are coming behind us. And so we want to make sure that we're intentionally focused on doing all that we can so that the impact is positive. Positive. Yep, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Hi,
Oh,
Grandma.
she's
Oh,
just she's
oh,
looking
hey,
at
Grandma.
everybody who's popping up on here.
Cool. I didn't.
Hey,
I
Mama
didn't even
Jones.
see. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. So good to see you all. All right. And so we wanted to get started today by asking Caden a few questions to share with y'all, share with the people, and share with us
Yeah.
some of her responses, and you can get to know a little bit about who she is and what she does and different things like that. And then Camille and I are going to take it from there and talk a little bit more about this impact on the next generation. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I don't know, how do you want to do it? You want to ask the first question?
Okay. I have to find the question. Okay. Caden, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Um, More than one thing. I want to be a singer, a teacher, a pastor like my dad, a musician like my dad. Oh, singer like my dad. I mean, like my mom.
Yeah, not like
Not my dad. And
Not like that.
not like my dad.
I also want to be a dancer
All right.
and a mom.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. Good things.
I love all those things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kaden has always, when we've asked her that question, there's never been one answer, and
Mhm.
we've always tried to encourage her. You don't have to be just one thing,
Right.
and the world tries to make you think that you have to only focus on one thing. But the fact of the matter is that the things that God has put in us are sometimes bigger and can't be held down into one and locked in to one particular direction. And so we
Right.
are multifaceted,
Mhm.
and Caden absolutely is multifaceted, and we see all sorts of stuff in her and get excited like, I wonder if that's going to be something that takes root
Oh,
in her
and
future.
and an artist.
And an artist.
Mhm.
So you see the right brain going on with her, all this artistic,
Mhm.
creative stuff. But she's also an intense planner on the other side of it. So it's an interesting combination. We're excited
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you the next question, Caden. What are some things that you are really good at now already in your life?
Mm, mm,
What are you really good at now?
arts and crafts.
Okay. Arts and crafts.
Planning, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Um, surprises.
Surprises. Tell us more. How so?
Sometimes I surprise you all
Yes,
Oh,
you
yeah.
do.
with gifts
Mhm.
or with like a day of something or something like that.
Yeah.
Events.
Yeah, even.
Dates. You give mommy and daddy dates
Yeah.
that you plan. Yeah.
And um, kindness.
Kindness.
Yes.
Yeah. You are very kind and very good with kindness. Some more things just to add so I can fill your tank. Fill your tank. Every teacher that you've had at school has noticed that you are very much a person who cares about justice and fairness.
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Yeah. We know just from our everyday interactions that you're a person who just loves God
Yeah.
and you want folks to just be
Be right.
holy. My goodness. Look, we got to work with her that she don't become a judgmental one because she be like, wait, what word did you say? And different things like that. And so you care about people living their lives in a way that makes God happy. There's so many. What you want more things? You want filler tank? More things that we see that you're good at.
Oh, I mean, just with the whole justice thing, she she speaks her opinion, and she feels comfortable in that, and knowing that she can express herself on her behalf or on someone else's behalf if she feels like something is not fair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She doesn't mind sharing it. And that's for sure. She does not mind.
Mhm.
Yeah, so many things. Excellent student. School almost comes too easy for her sometimes.
She just
Oh,
always wants
reading.
more.
read.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Reading,
You're a voracious
writing.
reader.
Yeah, voracious. Reader.
Yeah.
Reading, writing. I'm pretty good at math. It's harder this year.
It's a challenge, but you're doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Learns really fast, and so all those good things we wanted to speak about you. Yeah.
Oh, and I think I'm funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty funny.
You're funny. You're funny.
We'll give you that one.
You get it from your dad.
Both of you.
Oh,
Yes.
I knew she was gonna not only give you
Mommy's
credit.
the funniest, right?
Mm.
So, want me to ask this last one, or you want to?
Oh yeah, sure. You can go ahead.
Last question we have for you, ma'am. What do your mom and I do to help you to go after your dreams?
That's a good one.
You like that question?
Well, you all say that I can do it,
Mm.
and you all say that you believe in me, and you say, and you tell me to just not give up and just practice hard and go for it, work for it,
Mhm.
work hard, and a lot of
Too many. Too many to name.
Mhm.
To name, right?
I just saw your nana said that you're amazing.
She's like, let me see
So
what
I
I'm
gotta
reading.
see it for myself. I don't mean it until I read it myself. Hi, Nana.
Hi, Nana.
Yeah, so that's great. That's great. So thank you so much, Caden, for sharing those answers.
Oh, that was Heather.
Oh, that was Heather.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My stuff is doing all sorts of stuff. Both of them said it.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's
Oh.
why. Yeah. Everybody thinks you're amazing
That's so
doubly. It's so
nice.
nice. Y'all are so
Aw.
nice. So that was the questions I have for you. We thank you for sharing with our weekly wisdom audience this week. And we will hear more from Caden in some coming weeks to come because she has a lot to share.
She wants to be a part
And
of
she
Weekly
wants to be a
Wisdom.
part. She keeps seeing mommy and daddy doing this. She's like, hey, hold on now. Don't you leave me out. And so thank you. Good job.
Good
All
job,
right.
baby.
And we're going to keep on talking.
You want to say bye?
Bye.
All right.
Go. Okay.
Great. Thank you. So cool. I will move the missing chair so it doesn't look like we're just missing someone. Um, so cool. We're glad that we were able to have Caden with us today. Caden is absolutely a complete combination of Camille and I. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about some things surrounding that. Now, listen, we know social media is the highlight reel. Uh, and everybody's able to put their best foot forward and display everything. We are not perfect.
No.
She's not perfect. Um, we, I'm going to say this real colloquial. My mom's here, so I have to give an explanation before I say things like this because they're not grammatically correct. We be jacking up sometimes. we we do some stuff and afterwards we like, oh man. But we are very excited that we've been blessed with a really good daughter. Not flawless, and she shouldn't be flawless because she doesn't have flawless parents. But we're so excited for what God's doing in her life. But we've had some of these things on our mind, and so we wanted to talk today to all of you who have influence and connection to the next generation. And I wasn't planning on this, but what just came to my mind from where I started, um, and I won't be specific because I'll never call her out, especially on social media. So it's going to be general on purpose. But we ran into a behavioral challenge not long ago. We all do, right? I have behavioral challenges myself. Ran into one earlier this week, and I remember immediately my thing was, ooh, I know exactly where she got that from. And it's like, that's all me. And so with all of you who are impacting, especially those of you who are parenting, whether that be biological, step, foster, adoption, both environmentally and biologically, you are passing yourself on to the next generation. Even those of you who are like older siblings, like who spend a lot of time, I know some of you all have those relationships, and grandparents. We are passing ourselves along, the good and the bad, to the next generation. And it's really important as we're looking at them that we remember that a lot of the stuff that we're seeing that we don't want to see, it came from
Comes
us.
from somewhere.
Yeah, it came from us. And so that should help us to be a little bit more patient, merciful, gracious, understanding when those things hit, because God knows none of us are perfect. And so, yeah, so there's that. Another thought that I had is that healthy communication impacts all areas of our lives, and it impacts our relationships. I want to ask you to do something. You know, there's a trainer in me. I do a lot of training in a lot of places. And so I'm going to ask you to do something, to follow my instructions for a moment. If you can do that wherever you are, I can't see you, so you have to grade yourself if you're really doing it. But follow my instructions. All right, take your finger. All right, and I'd like for you to place your finger on your chin. All right, place your finger on your chin. Okay. If you look like this, you got it wrong, because your chin is over here. Place your finger on your chin, right? Most of the time when I do that activity in settings, about 50% of the people will do what I do, and about 50% will do what I say. People tend to follow your actions and your example more than your words. They will do what you do quicker than they'll do what you say. In the same thing, as we're working on influencing the generation that comes after us, we can talk it all day long. Say, you need to do this. You shouldn't do this. You better go here. You need to do that. This is important. That isn't important. But if they're seeing us demonstrating something different than what we're saying, they're more likely and more prone to do what we do rather than to do what we say. All right. That's part of the premise. We are programmed by what we see. We're programmed by what we see. I have become Hank and Lolly Jones. There's good parts to that, and there are more challenging opportunities at times to that. The temperaments, the reactions. You do what you see, and you walk that out on a daily basis. All right. Anything you want to add right there?
It just makes me think of how important it is to be continuously conscious of your intentions in life and those that you have impact on. So we always have to be looking at ourselves and saying, okay, what are the best parts that I can put forward that can be impactful to people of the next generation?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Intentionality is like so critical.
Yeah.
So like you said, to be conscious, to be, on purpose. Like I have to think about what I'm doing is going to be an example.
Yeah.
Is this the right example? Is this the example that I want to be passing on?
And I think too, we can get so engulfed in our day and our life and our moments and the situations that affect us on a day-to-day basis to where we can lay that whole intentionality piece down. So, I mean, even if it's something like putting reminders on your calendar, which is something I do, when there's something I really want to keep at the forefront of my mind, I have reminders like every other day, every day of what my focus needs to be. Because if something comes into my day and it's just taking me, like if something's got me stressed out or I'm not as patient as I should be that day, when that reminder comes across my phone, I'm like, oh, yep, gotta reel it back in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Camille's really good, like studying and researching, like parenting skills and various things like that, and she shares them all with me on Instagram, like a lot of them, especially when she knows like you really need to hear this. But
we don't get it right.
It's the intentionality.
And I know that there are better ways. I know that there are better ways with not just our child, but I'm an aunt also. I have influence with younger generations too, and I want to be as right as I can be. We're never going to get it all right, but that's why I'm always just like searching for a better way to handle stuff, a better way to deal with emotions, a better way to show how I handle my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a scripture. You all know us by now. There's a scripture that comes to mind. Familiar passage, Proverbs 22:6. It's just one verse. The New Living says, "Direct your children." And listen, we're throwing that not just your biological
Mm-hmm.
children, all of these areas that we keep talking about, those from the next generation that you have influence over and that you can potentially help shape the course. It says, "Direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it." When they're older, they will not leave it. I received a call from somebody, I think last week, who has lived a difficult life but was raised the right way, with the right standards, the right principles instilled in them. And life sometimes can knock you off course and push you away. And this particular young man told me, he said, "Hey, I was listening I can't get away from the things that my parents, that you, that the church were trying to instill in me. I just want you to know I appreciate it. And so we may force our way into a path that's outside of the foundations of what has been instilled in us, but that foundation is still within us. And so it's really important that we plant the right things in them. Direct your children onto the right path, and when they're older, they will not leave it. The New Century Version of the same Proverbs 22:6 says, train children to live the right way, and when they are old, they will not stray from it. And I hope this is encouraging somebody who is like, hey, this principle is not working. It's not showing up in my life. I put right things into the next generation and they have lost their natural minds. That's a reality. But just know, at some point in time, you may see it or you might not see it. But at some point, they're going to get to a place where they cannot stray from the foundational good things that you have invested and planted in them. I want to read the same verse, Proverbs 22:6, from one more version. The Message Bible says, point your kids in the right direction. When they're old, they won't be lost. When they're old, they won't be lost. Anything you want to add on that one?
Nope.
Nope. Nope. It's pretty clear.
It did it. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, when they're old, it might not be when you see it. And I really feel like we're encouraging somebody today. You may think, man, they just have not taken hold of anything that I tried to plant in them, that I've tried to invest in them, but be encouraged. It's there. And at some point in time, in due season, at the right time, your investment is going to bring forth fruit. Ah, man. So don't stop praying. Don't stop believing. Don't stop hoping. Don't stop correcting. Don't stop working with them. Don't stop investing in them because in due season, at the right time, at some point in time, it's going to show up. It's going to bear fruit. It's going to make an impact and a difference in their lives. Um, yeah. So, um, another thought that I had is that we want children to turn into solid adults, but we often don't allow them to become great because we're more concerned about how they see us. Like, you better respect me. You're gonna talk to me a certain way, and you better do this when like I came in the room, and this is how you need to respond. And many times we don't allow them to become great because we're more concerned about how they see us, and we're less focused and not as concerned about how they see themselves. And really, what they need to really begin to hold on is seeing themselves with a level of confidence, seeing I can achieve. I can do this. And implanting confidence in them to go after big things, to go after their goals, to go after their dreams. But many times we become so caught up in, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for, people need to learn how to be respectful. People need to learn how to treat people right. But sometimes we spend more time. I didn't say you shouldn't give any attention to this, but sometimes we give more attention to how they see us than to how they see themselves.
Right. Yeah. The goal is to prepare them for their future, right? Um, they're going to interact with more people than just us, than just you. So, with that being the goal of preparing them for their future, then we have to help them to um, to know how to see themselves, to know how to appreciate themselves, to know what things they're good at, what things they're strong at. Now, in our presence, whether you're dealing with like a younger sibling or your child, a niece, a nephew, grandchild, whatever. In your presence, now there are going to be some challenges. And so at that point, then, we as the older person in the situation have to see that as an opportunity for helping to direct, their responses or the way that they're acting or responding to whatever that certain situation is. So, yeah, just it can't always be that the focus is they need to respect me. Yes, there needs to be respect in how you respond, but the bigger thing a lot of times in our eyes is, okay, how can she handle this with another person, this type of situation?
Hmm. And I mean, just to be frank, a lot of times, um, our desire for them to treat us a certain way is our own shortcoming, and it's our own deficiencies and our own insecurities showing out. Many times because we were told you shouldn't be talking. Don't you express your opinion? And so then we reinforce it. We're like, now I'm the adult, and so I'm gonna do the same thing. You gonna hear me. Maybe y'all ain't like that. Maybe I'm talking to myself today. You gonna hear me. You will respect me. I go out all day and I deal with people who don't listen to me. When I come home, and there's some merit, I understand, but it has to be balanced because sometimes what we do is we begin to stifle some abilities, some strength that
Mm-hmm.
is in this next generation because we try to get them to what's the word, to assimilate to low expectations. We try to muzzle them and we try to muffle their voices when really sometimes that's what's needed in them. They are the way they are on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and so they need direction. They need to be guided, but we have to be very careful not to stifle and to kill some of those things that are in them. I appreciate about my parents in my upbringing that they had a definite focus on. I remember this over and over again. I remember dad saying this a lot and mom demonstrating this a lot. I'm not going to let the school, I'm not going to let other people kill his spirit. That was the language that I heard at home. Like, we're not going to let nobody kill his spirit. Really, probably what they were saying, I'm putting words in their mouths, is he got some ways about him. His mouth, I like to say things. I like to infuse my thoughts on the situation into the situation, and I even liked doing that with in the presence of grown-ups as I was growing up. But really, it was developing some thoughts. It was developing some abilities that my job and that people in ministry and various people in the community now get to benefit from. Whereas if it would have been a focus on you better not say nothing or children are to be seen and not heard, which I heard that too. We had some balance. If that was a thing, then I wouldn't have learned how to develop mature thoughts and to deeply analyze situations because I would have been sitting there holding everything in and
Mm-hmm.
not giving it a chance to come out because when it comes out is when it gets developed. Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, and I was just as you were about to say something about your parents, I was thinking about my parents, and I know the challenge that I gave them because I'm a pretty blunt person, and I just say things the way it is, and they endured me.
hmm.
They never killed that in me, and so thank you, mom.
Thank you,
Thank you,
mom.
dad,
Thank you.
for helping me to be true to that,
Hmm.
and enduring, my bluntness, growing up. Because I'm sure it didn't always feel respectful, but you saw the bigger picture.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, for any of you listening on this, think back to the things that, people in your lives got right,
Yeah.
that helped to mold you so that when you go out into the world, you're able to function at a more optimum level because you weren't, that wasn't minimized in you.
Hmm.
So with me just speaking bluntly, I tell you what, out in the work world, it is very helpful
Yeah.
because you can't just let folks eat you up.
Hmm.
You have to you have to speak truth to power at
Hmm.
times.
Hmm.
So that is the power, of being able to focus on that person's future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mom said you're welcome. Mom said you're welcome. Yeah, definitely. So, um, couple statements. Here's the first. You can't expect your children to be powerful if you treat them like they're powerless.
Right.
I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. You can't expect your children to be powerful if you treat them like they're powerless. And I know I have an extraordinary colleague here in parenting with me. And so I'm going to give space if you want to on any of these. I have three statements. And I know you can talk on these all day because we do, right?
Yeah.
This is what we do. But I'm going to say it one more time. You can't expect your children to be powerful if you treat them like they're powerless. Anything on that?
I'm just thinking of our approach with our child. And early on, we knew that we wanted to teach her how to um, speak her feelings, and speak up for herself, whether it's, to her dad and I or anyone else that she is interacting with, if she feels like she needs to convey something. And that's really important. And I think it is definitely something that God has given us to focus on. Yes, He gave it to me, and I shared it with Rajel, and he's
I try to line up.
latching
I
on,
try to line up where I
to
can.
to the thought. Now, I don't know exactly how to do this. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know exactly how to do this, but I do know that the impression on me, is that it is very important that we teach her to
Mm-hmm.
speak her truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be something big in her future. And so, any person that you have influence with,
Mm-hmm.
if you are feeling that, if God is putting that on your heart for that person, take heed,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know what this person is in your life that's going to be the next what.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's the statement is true. The children are the future.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to get the future together. We got to help them. And we can't make them be quiet.
Mm.
They
Yes.
have to be able to speak. But what we can do is teach them, of course, with the two of us. Kaden has to speak respectfully. She can speak her thoughts and her mind about a situation, even a decision.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be respectful, and that's also teaching her to gather her thoughts.
Yeah.
To come, to us with her reasons why this feels this way, or why or even if she has questions, we don't shut her down. We don't say it's just gonna be this way.
Mm-hmm.
So if she has and it takes a
Yeah.
lot of patience.
Fight that urge.
Yeah, there are times, because she'll just ask why to the answer we give her, then we give her the next answer, and then she wants to know why to that. And so,
Because I said so is what you
it,
want to
right,
say,
right.
right?
It becomes a trying situation sometimes.
Yeah.
But in my mind and my thoughts, it's always okay. This is for her future. She's like this for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Analytical.
Right, exactly. So that's my thought on that.
Mm-hmm. And so we could kill her analytical nature, or we can invest in it.
Mm-hmm.
And see, so this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about we're investing in the next generation. Sometimes it's how we treat them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always what we teach. Again, back to it's not always what we say. Sometimes it's what we do that begins to reveal some things. Here's another thought I had as you were talking, Camille. Sometimes, and these are the urges I have to fight. I'm being transparent with y'all. Especially if there's someone else around. I'm going to call it out. I'm going to call it out.
That pressure.
There's a pressure because you don't want them to think that you have
Don't
an
have-
unruly child and that you don't have the situation
Control.
under control.
Yes.
When anybody who's ever had influence over the next generation knows you don't have anything under control. So you faking it in the first place. And nobody does. And so that's when I know for me, I've really had to fight the urge. And it can be nobody's even saying anything. It's something that's happening in my own head. Like if certain people are around, if my parents are around, I'm like, oh man, look, no, I'm not gonna make them think that I don't have this in check right
Mm-hmm.
here. That my house is out of order because I can hear certain voices, right? Uh, that's when I'm trying even more to hold on to thinking about, well, I need her to be able to be strong.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to raise a weak adult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to raise an adult who can't express their feelings
Mm-hmm.
appropriately. I'm not trying to raise a daughter who is mishandled and just takes it
Mm-hmm.
and becomes docile
Right.
because she hasn't been developed in expressing what she will take and what she won't take
Right.
and what her opinion about a situation is. The fact that I had a girl, I think, probably messed me up even more because I'm like, I know how as guys are with
Mm-hmm.
problematic, and I don't want her to have to deal with some of that stuff. I wanted to be, she got to deal with it. I wanted to be prepared for it.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
another statement: you can't expect the next generation to be confident when you strip them of their dignity. You can't expect the next generation or your children, however you want to look at it, you can't expect them to be confident when you strip them of their dignity.
And that makes me think of respecting what their reality is
Mm,
at their point in life. So there might be a heavy situation for them, you know, during a young time in their life. Um, but to us, I think sometimes because we're like, well, I've been there, you'll get over that.
mm,
I think giving respect to the place where they're at, and letting them express those feelings of how that impacts them and how it makes them feel, it makes them feel heard.
mm-hmm,
It makes them know that what they're going through is important to, to you, to a person that they care about.
mm-hmm,
And so that helps to build confidence in them being able to be truthful and honest with themselves, and even being able to outwardly say, this is what I'm dealing with right now. So
mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And here's the last statement: you can't expect them to be emotionally intelligent if you won't allow them to express their feelings, including anger towards you.
Woo.
Oh man, I know I said something right there. I'm going to say it again. You can't expect your children to be emotionally intelligent if you won't allow them to express their feelings, including anger towards you.
Now
Ooh,
that's a bike to ride right there.
that's a 12 speed, and you only had a tricycle before, a little a little kitty toy before that. This is aspirational.
Hmm.
This is aspirational. Like, I'm not saying that we got this all together even up in this house, because I'm working on it. But if we want them to be in control of their emotions, to sense other people's emotions, this is emotional intelligence, right? To have control of their emotions, to sense other people's emotions, and to be thoughtful, caring, and empathetic in how they're dealing with others. They have to be in a safe place
Hmm.
themselves, and they have to have practice.
Hmm.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
they've never lived this life.
Yeah. They have to have practice maneuvering and
Hmm.
communicating and conveying their emotions. Um, and man, this is not easy. I'm working on it. I have a great coach in the process that's sitting next to me right now. That when I turn into who I am, in responding to something, as soon as it's over, I already know. Like, she gonna send me a text, or she gonna.
I'll be like this.
Like, you went a little hard, you went a little hard, or you didn't seem like you were considering her feelings. I get a lot of those messages. It's a theme, it's a pattern. But I really appreciate it because I'm not thinking about that in the moment. I'm addressing whatever behavior I think I see, and I'm not thinking about the holistic development of an individual for their future. right? When we get in our emotions, we're not going to be all theoretical. We're not thinking about, oh, what I'm doing right now and the way that I'm about to address this situation will have deep long term impact on how she will interact in her relationships and her jobs, all of that.
But can I? And so to that point, that also leads me to want to say we have to learn how to regulate
Control
ourselves as
ourselves.
adults. We still have learning to do,
Yeah.
because the ways that we react are not always correct.
No, they're often
And
not.
so, people, children, young people who are connected to us need to see us be able to effectively regulate.
Yep.
They need to see us effectively and impactfully communicate
Mm-hmm.
so that that's an example for them. So we have work to do on ourselves
Yeah.
always still too.
Yeah. And not just in our communication with them, but
With others,
what she
right?
sees. How am I talking to her mom? How is her
Mm-hmm.
mom talking to her dad? How am I responding on the phone talking to people at work?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a lot of responsibility. This is a lot of areas where, man, like, and when you live with a person, you're going to see the highlight reel, the Facebook highlight reel, as
Mm-hmm.
well as the tour of
Basement.
shame, right? The this is where tragedy struck.
Right.
You're gonna see the whole picture, and so just being conscious, being
Mm-hmm.
aware that how I again, it's back to this. It's back to I'm telling you to put your finger on your chin, but I'm showing you to put it on the cheek. And so the learned behavior, the muscle memory, there it is. The muscle memory that this next generation will develop will likely be about what they see us do rather than
Mm-hmm.
what they hear us say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so back to that scripture and the one that I have memorized, I'm not going back up to it, is train up a child in the way that they should go. And when they're old, they will not depart from it. One of the things that we are training them on is how to navigate the us that we put in them. um,
Yeah.
I know you all don't know it because I've worked on it a lot. Most of you, some of y'all know it real good, but most of you don't know. Like I have a temper, right? I'm being vulnerable. Okay, I have a temper. I will snap. Well, what everybody knows, if you dealt with me much at all, is I'm sarcastic. We'll go to that one. That's an easy example. Um, and so when I see that same sort of behavior coming up in my daughter toward me, um, first of all, the first reaction is I want to wipe it out because I don't want her to have to deal with the same negative stuff that I have had to deal with it based on how it has worked in me. And so I'm like, no, 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 get rid of that, get rid of that. But how can I expect DNA is a powerful thing, and so is environmental impact. It's a powerful thing. So whether it's nurture or nature, she has picked that thing up,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, how can I be so hard on her when I'm not that hard on me?
Or the other piece to that is
Mm-hmm.
how can you be so hard on that child when you haven't mastered it yet?
Yeah, yeah,
You're still working on it. And like you said, you're not that hard on yourself. That's because you give yourself grace.
yep.
And so there's, that whole element of let's remember that, the youth, the children, they need space to practice.
Yeah, yeah,
And practice takes more than one time saying, how to correctly or effectively do this. They need practice. And maybe the next time they might still jumble it up, but they might get one element
mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And if you don't create an environment and a space where they can practice on you, who love them, who have their best interests at heart, hopefully, right? If they can't practice on you, then they're left to either not practice or to practice on somebody who ain't gonna treat them right in the process. I don't want them to have to practice on some authority figure that doesn't care like I care, whether that be at school or in the police system or on the job. Like I don't if when it's stuff that's like, well, if I would have given a practice ground, she could have mastered that. Not just her, other people who we influence, nieces, nephews, friends, community members. If I would have given them the opportunity, and then given them the good constructive criticism from a place of love, then they might not find themselves getting fired from that job. They might not find themselves getting entangled in the system. They might not find themselves even physically or mentally damaged and abused, or entering into a relationship where they're accepting things that they should be rejecting, because I could have created a safe place and a safe environment for them to develop. So there's responsibility on us to not just have them do what we say, but to have them do what we do.
That's good.
It's good. That's good. All right, we're gonna look at a couple comments here, and then we're about done. Uh, Let me see. I'm gonna go up and see what parts we need to highlight. I'm gonna pick out a couple things, not everything, but we're gonna pick out a couple things here.
Yeah, we're trying not to go so long.
Yeah, we've been
Every week.
keeping y'all. Mom Gant said, "I'm working on passing the correct intentions to others." That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Um, Heather said, "My sister and I express ourselves through sharing music." That's good.
Nice. That's good.
That's good. Yep, you find those points of connectivity.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, where do we have some commonalities? Where can we connect where it's not threatening? We find out what we have in common, and we can build and
it's
grow from
healthy.
there.
Right.
Yeah, Teresa, it's happened to me before, and have had to fight this. We're not parenting according to others' expectations.
Yeah.
I know that's right. Hey, Earlene, good to see you.
Hey, Arlene.
Hey, Sandra, good to see you. She's always watching and hearing what's said and done. Watch what you say and how you say it.
You right.
Absolutely. Teresa, as old folks say, well, yep. Yep, we have to control ourselves. Absolutely, absolutely. Good, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we hope this is useful and helpful. Don't lose hope in the next generation, whether that be your children or just the generation that you see coming up. They're going to be different than the preceding generations. They're supposed to be. Guess what? We were different than the generations that came before us. Every generation thinks that the next generation has just totally lost it. Whether that be in their music selections, their stylistic and fashion choices, it never makes sense. So just get comfortable with that. They're going to be different. Normalize difference. They're going to see things differently. They're going to do things differently. I know my generation messed up the generation before me. They don't understand how we deal with job choices and career moves and decisions.
Right, because we be like, this ain't working. Peace.
Yep, yep. And we're talking about a generation that stayed at places for 50 years and believed highly in loyalty. And the generation that's coming after me is like, I don't even want a traditional job. I'd rather drive Uber or do DoorDash because I can set my own hours. I don't got to deal with a boss. I can go make the money that I need to make in that particular time, and I can do it at the time I want. Like, and so for some of us, we don't understand it because we're not hardwired the same way because we weren't brought up in the exact same situations. But every generation is going to be different. But here, I just felt it real good. They were born for such a time as this.
Right.
They have everything they need for the challenges that they will confront.
That's good.
I am not hardwired to deal with the stuff that they are going to have to deal with. I'm not hardwired to deal with stuff that the generation ahead of me had to deal with because I would have dealt with it differently. I would have been somewhere on the tree. So every generation has within it what they need in order to be. You were born for such a time as you were born in. They were born for such a time that they were born in. And so they have to be different. And if we try to make them the same as what we were, they will be ill-equipped to deal with what they're going to have to deal with.
That's good.
Yep. Yep. So cool. I hope that's helpful. I hope that's really helpful for you all. Good, Earlene. I'm glad that's useful, that's helpful for you. Yeah, don't be taking offense to everything.
Yeah, don't be
Yep,
offended.
it's not a some stuff isn't about your own feelings.
Right.
Yep. Um, good, good, good. It's good. You know, we don't know how to do anything but be candid. So thanks for putting up with our
Enduring.
candor. Yep. So no, we love you all. We hope you have a phenomenal
Yeah.
week. We look forward to engaging you all more soon. We tried to do a little bit better. We did better with the time today.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we did. We stayed
Yeah.
about 45 minutes, so
Mhm.
that works good. All right. You all have a great week. We love you.
See you
God
next
bless.
week.